Hello, today I'm going to show you how you can deploy Wallboard to a BrightSign player using BSN.cloud. This can deploy a CMS like Wallboard very quickly, so let's go ahead and get into how you would do that. So first, create an account on BSN.cloud, and once you've done that, you'll get something like this. You may not have anything here. You may see something like this when you first log in. So go ahead and click on New Network and create like a internal network where you have test devices that you're testing out, or maybe it's for a customer that you're managing it for. Go ahead and put what that customer name is. And once you've done that, go ahead and go to Admin and then go to Provision. Once you've done that, add player. Now give the name of what you would of what the player is going to be called or where it's located. So I'll just say Wallboard test in this example. And for the serial number, I already have this. So if you turn the back of your BrightSign device, you should see what the serial number of it is. And then I'm going to go ahead and click Add Player. So now you've attached the BrightSign to your account, but if I go to Dashboard, you can see that I don't have any players here that I can control yet. And that's because you haven't provisioned the BrightSign yet. So in order to provision it, you have to create what is called a setup file. It's what does the provisioning. So you're going to click here. And again, that was from the admin menu. And once you've done that, we're going to type the setup name. So we'll just say Wallboard install. You're going to see partner app here. We're going to click on that, or click that down arrow and select a partner app. Then click view all, and you'll see Wallboard. Now, if you do have a Wi-Fi card installed on the device, you can go ahead and click it here, click network options, and then type in the enable, and then type in the network details here. If you have static information to enter, just uncheck this here and then enter it below. Now, just remember that if you do turn this on, it's going to try to instantly connect to that network. So if you need to change these details later, do that. Like if you need to install Wallboard first, but it's actually going to go to a customer site where they have different wireless network details. Follow another video to show how to change that after the fact, because you will need an internet connection to install Wallboard. So I just have a wired connection in this case, so I'm going to turn off wireless and just leave this as it is. So now that I've done that, I'm going to click done. And so we'll just also click here, use current player settings, because I don't really need to set the network details. But now that I've done that, make sure both of these are checked here. Now, you can push out a BrightSign update through here, but what I would suggest is just do not update to the latest firmware. We can use Wallboard to do that. So don't select any of the firmwares here. Just ignore BrightSign OS update. The only other setting, this should be checked. Everything else, enable remote screenshot, this should all be checked. So once you have that, go ahead and add the setup to library. And there we are. So as you can see. Now, once we've done that, go ahead and go to admin and go to provision. And go here, click on the player that we added. Click on the down arrow, apply setup. Click on apply setup. And then now you can select the install. Perfect. All right. So now that you've done that, the player, so if it's the first time that you've gotten the device from BrightSign or from whoever, what you can do is if you just put a blank SD card in the device and then power it on, once it connects to the internet, it is going to try to go through that provisioning cycle, because when it gets powered on and it has an empty SD card in it, that's sort of the trigger to say, hey, I need to provision myself if I've been attached to a BSN.cloud portal like you see here. So that's what you would expect there. Now, if you're still having troubles with that, there's something else that you can do. If you go to the IP address of the device, so if you take out the SD card, reboot it, whenever it powers on, if it is connected to the internet, you should get an IP address that you can connect to. Now, it will ask for a login whenever you get there. What you use for the username is admin, all lowercase. And then for the password, it's the serial number. So we use that to add the BrightSign to our BSN.cloud account, and it's also found on the back of the BrightSign. All right, so once you've done that, you'll go ahead and go to Control, and then you'll hit Factory Reset. Now, what this will do is it will go ahead and reset the device, and it will clear everything off that SD card. That tells the device that it needs to reprovision, thus pulling down that setup file that I showed you how to make that is going to install Wallboard. This will also, of course, put any network details on the device, so just make sure again that the right network details are set on the device if you are going to be installing Wallboard, because it will need an internet connection. Now, this is for everyone else that has gotten a brand new BrightSign. When you're setting up this, it's actually a little bit easier. So just remember when we go into provision here, we've already set a setup file on this device. So basically, whenever I take this device and I put an empty SD card in it and go ahead and boot it up so it powers on, it's going to pull that provisioning file down because, again, a blank micro SD card is sort of the trigger for the BrightSign to provision itself and become available in this dashboard. Now, I've already went ahead and done that process. So as you can see, I now have a player here that's available in my dashboard. All right, so last but not least, we need to add the BrightSign now that we got Wallboard installed to your Wallboard portal. So go ahead and click on this green sort of strip there, and then we're going to go to the BrightSign that we just installed Wallboard on, and then click on the gear icon. From there, we're going to go ahead and click on snapshots and generate a new snapshot. This is going to give us the pairing code that we need to use to add Wallboard to the portal. And if you actually click on it, you can see that it's pointing to a specific URL. This happens to match up with the editor I have here. If it doesn't, so if it's not editor.wallboard.us or .info, or it's just not pointing to the right server, please contact support or someone at Wallboard and we can assist how to get it pointing to the right server. We will have links below covering how you can point to a different one. If let's say you're a partner and you have your own Wallboard server that you want to point these BrightSigns to, we will have a video and look down in the description below and we'll have that for you. So let's go ahead and add this. I'm going to click on screen. And for the temporary ID, I'm going to do YYYI, and I'm going to call this Wallboard test. From there, go ahead and choose your license. I have a demo one, and I'm going to press save. You'll now see that the screen has been added. Once you've done that, just to quickly show this off here, you'll see that it says there is no content assigned to this screen. Well, we need to fix that. So how do you assign content to a screen? Well, you can hit this plus icon, hit this plus icon here, create some content or a playlist, and assign it to the screen like you see here. However, there's one more thing that we need to do. If you right click on the screen and you go to screen info, you'll actually see that the BrightSign is not on the firmware version that we want. So how you can push firmware remotely to a BrightSign is just with a couple steps. So I'm going to go to our docs.wallboard.us. This link will be in the description. And from there, we're going to go to Players, JS Core, BrightSign, and then we're going to click on 3 to 4 series. If you have a 5 series device, you can ignore this part. But you should, if you're on a 5 series BrightSign device, you should be updating to the latest firmware that's available for that model. In this case, these are 4 series, so we have specific firmware that we recommend for them. So this device that I'm working with is an XT1144. So XT4, this is the link I need. But I'm actually going to copy this link address here by right-clicking. And I'm going to go back into Wallboard. I'm going to right-click on this screen, and I'm going to use this Update Firmware option. When I place that in here and press Send, that's then going to tell the device to update its firmware, and it's going to relaunch Wallboard. It shouldn't reinstall everything. You should see it back in this portal here. So a very easy way to deploy a firmware. If you need to do it to many devices, you can click this icon here, click on Group, make an icon called Test Group, drag it into that group, and if you actually now right-click on the screen, you'll see that I can use the update firmware for all the screens in that group. So that can be an easy way to do it, but just wanted to point that out for anyone who needs to do this to a lot of devices. So I hope this has helped at least how you can deploy Wallboard to a lot of BrightSign players. If you have any questions, please let us know at sales@wallboard.us. But thank you so much for your time.